Hello, I am here today to bestow a gift upon my fellow empaths. Today, this video is going to be on if you're an empath, how would you know? So I'm going to take a little bit of time and kind of draw out what an empath is. And then what are the challenges for empaths? What are the gifts and what are the challenges? Both. And then I'm going to take you through an experiential exercise, or you could call it my energy exercise, and give you some tools that I've gotten from different modalities that I've taught over the years. And one of the most beautiful ones that I am recently very involved in facilitating called Access Consciousness. So here we go. What is an empath? Well, if you're still watching this video, you already kind of probably know that you're an empath. An empath is someone who really is energetically more viscerally tuned into the world. So they tend to be psychic and they tend to understand what's going on with other people sometimes before other people understand what's going on with themselves. Empaths are born into this world, I believe, as empaths. When you are born into this world with that journey. You're going to actually be a person who tunes into other people easily and also tend on the side of compassion. That's right. So empaths tend to care about other people and also sometimes take on other people's stuff to their own detriment just to try and help other people. So for children, that looks like becoming your mom or your dad's psychologist and then going from there and becoming all of your friends in the childhood category psychologist. And then you may even grow up and go to school and become a psychologist. And, that's kind of the deal with empaths. Empaths tend to end up wanting to help the world. And so this is a very noble type of person. It's also a very energy-based person. Empaths pick things up, they know things, and they don't know why they know them. Unless they start really inquiring into what is it that they have going on with themselves that causes them to be psychic, sort of, and to actually have certain patterns in their life that are reoccurring. And I could go into a ton of them because I'm an empath. That's why I love this exercise that I'm getting ready to share with you. But empaths are more energy beings. Empaths understand that energy is the first language, as we say in Access Consciousness. Energy is your first language. You just pick stuff up. When I was a child growing up, I used to get really interested in my mom's friends. They would come over, all of them were at-home moms, or back then what they called them were housewives, and they would work all day on their houses and get dinner prepared, and then they'd be waiting for their husbands to get home. And right before the husbands would get home, they would congregate and have cocktails. And when they did that over at our house, all the kids would go out and play, except for Kelly. Kelly oftentimes wanted to sit in the kitchen area where they would have their cocktails and look at them and read them, because I was picking up all sorts of information that was not in what they were saying, not coming out of their mouth. It was other information. And my mom used to say, "Kelly, what are you doing in here? Go play with your friends." And later on, when I got older, she told me, look, you made my friends really nervous. You've always been this way. You pick up stuff. And so that was my first really big clue into oh yeah, that thing. I always wanted to help people because I would pick up stuff. And so one of the other things about being an empath is that it is, I believe, just one of the biggest gifts and blessings that you actually would want to help people. And the fallback, the booby trap to trying to help people when you are an empath is that a lot of times you want to help them more than they want to help themselves. Or you want to fix them and they don't want to be fixed. Or, yeah, they would love for you to fix them and you can't, because nobody can fix anyone else. It's an inside job. So empaths a lot of times are the caring people. They're also the people that aggressive people will oftentimes try to take their stuff out on and get, have empaths carry their problems, because empaths do that. They pick stuff up and they take it home with them, energetically speaking. And so a lot of empaths, one of the things that will happen with empaths is while they are born into this world with extraordinary amounts of heart, like they're compassionate, very compassionate, after a while, picking up other people's stuff and carrying it around with them will make them feel like really weird, like something must be wrong with me. It's like, blah, what is this that I have going on with me that like, woo, what is this? And then sometimes empaths will figure out, wow, okay, I pick up people's stuff and I take it home. And people who have aggressions know that they can like use me as kind of like their pen pad. And so people with aggressive personalities, not just aggressive personalities, I'm making it sound like it's wrong, but it's a thing where some people are just more apt to go through the world with more entitlement, perhaps. And it's like, I deserve to, take my stuff and put it somewhere else and on someone else. And that person can handle it, and that person cares, and that person seems to be asking for it. Oh, that's right, empaths. We do somewhat ask for it because we think it's going to make us more comfortable. If we can get that person that we can tell that they're uncomfortable in their skin, that they're having issues, that there's something going on with them, if we can get them to feel better, then we can feel better because we feel all that stuff over there. We feel all that stuff going on with that person. And so we kind of ask for it. It's like, okay, bring your aggressions, bring it on, and I can handle it. No, then you can't handle it because it's just not yours to deal with. And so the tool that I bring to you today, empaths, so that you can keep your heart open and reopen your heart. If perhaps you've gone to that place where you've said, I'm not going to let people take their stuff, or I'm just going to stay away from certain people, or maybe you've just gone into isolation and you just spend a lot of time alone because you pick up energy so easily and you just don't know what to do with it. This is a tool from Access Consciousness called Who Does This Belong To? Because in Access, what is said is that 99.999% of what you pick up on from the time you're very young in your family unit and then on forward is not even really yours. You're a sponge, you're absorbing other things that you don't really have an opportunity to say, well, how, is that just a belief? And just, say, well, let me see what I believe. Let me see how I feel about things. Instead, you absorb it. And so Who Does This Belong To is one of the greatest tools of Access Consciousness, and comes in the class that I teach called Access Bars. We talk about this, and it's a wonderful tool that you can work with starting today. And it is simply when you pick up energetically other people's things, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and you're aware of it. Maybe you've been out and about and you come home and you're like feeling kind of weird, like it is a visceral thing. It's like, bleh, like, what is, bleh. Or you may be obsessing about something that you don't normally, it's not your thing to obsess about, and yet all of a sudden you kind of have an angst. You ask the question, who does this belong to? And then you wait, you pause. And a lot of times what will happen is the energy that you brought home with you as an empath will dissipate quite naturally because your body realizes you're holding on to something else. When you say, who does this belong to? Your body says, oh, it's not mine. Poof! And it just, poof, energetically, you release it. It's great. And other times it might not release so easily. Maybe it's something that actually has more roots in it, like it comes from your childhood. It's a pattern that you've been dealing with. Whenever you get around that certain person or that certain situation, you always get in the energy of it. And so it's a little more like, when you were a kid and you went camping and you would get ticks and you have to get the ticks out. And you have to make sure when you pull that tick off your skin that you also get the little legs out, the tentacles out. That's kind of what the next part of Who Does This Belong To? The next part is where you realize, okay, the answer is coming to me. I'm not having to answer it from my head. Just who does this belong to? And I can feel energetically, it's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. So now return to sender. Return to sender. Just return it to sender. And if you're a true blue empath, then the first thought you're going to have is, oh, that's cruel. That's not a very kind thing to do, return to sender. It is, because they are the ones who need to deal with it. And maybe they need to return it to whoever gave it to them. And if you carry that energy, if you carry their stuff for them, they can't do their work and they can't return it to who it really belongs to. And we just can't ever get things clear, just clear things up and just release everybody. Just get the freedom that all of us really, really want. Really, isn't what we want freedom? Freedom. Yeah, freedom. Feel that? Yes. Such powerful energy. Freedom. So free yourself up by asking, who does this belong to? If it dissipates just with you asking that question, great. If it doesn't, then move to step 2. Return to sender. And you can even add to that with consciousness attached, because this is all consciousness. So return to sender with consciousness attached is the full Monty, you could say. So we're going to do a little energy exercise. And we're going to see what you have maybe on top, or maybe even at a deeper level that you would like to return to sender and free yourself up from it. So what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and think of something that has happened to you in the past couple of days that left you with an icky feeling, and you may still be kind of resisting the ick. You've been around someone lately who maybe said something. One of the things that I dealt with recently was some real extreme, should I say this in this video? Yeah, let me ask the energy. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. It was racism. Blatant racism, and that doesn't float around me. And I interrupted it. I made a comment, and the person wasn't receptive to my comment, but that wasn't really the point as much as I had to speak up. And then I walked away and I carried it with me, and because it was shocking, it was sad, and I didn't like the way it felt, and I especially don't like the impact that it has on the people that it has an impact on. So I carried it with me. And so that one's been very difficult to return to sender. Some things are much heavier, they're denser, and some things are not. And so, so anything in the past few days that has happened that has caused you to resist it, okay, take that into this experiential exercise. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take a nice deep breath in and bring it down into your body with your attention. So your attention usually lives up in your head. We want to bring your attention down into your body. We're going to go visceral. We're going to go energetic. So taking a nice deep breath. And notice your toes. So wiggle your toes a little bit. Bring your attention. Get interested in your toes. Interest drives attention. And then bring your attention to the arches in your feet. Notice the curves in your feet. And from there, move your attention to your ankles. And then from there, take your feet and pull energy up from Mother Earth. And do it without effort, without force, just with intention. With your intention in your feet, bring Mother Earth energy into your feet, and then allow it to move up your legs, into your pelvic area, up through your body, and through your head, your face, your head, your crown. And now notice your knees. Put your attention on your knees. While you're at your knees, notice the angle they're bent in. And then bring your attention to your hips. While you're at your hips, notice the angle they're bent in. And then bring your attention up to your rib cage. Take in a nice deep breath. And while you're taking that deep breath, Notice the expansion of your rib cage as you breathe in. And exhale. Noticing your rib cage contracting as you exhale. And one more nice deep breath in, expanding even more, breathing in deeper. And exhale. And then bring your attention up to your chest. And while you're at your chest, notice, do you have some blocking there? Energetic blocking, like an energetic wall. Protecting you, protecting your heart. And let's just go ahead and dissipate it, release it, allow it to open, allow your heart to open. I promise you, if you want to, after this, you can re-wall your heart. And you may need to, depending on what kind of things you've got going on in your life that you need to perhaps resolve before you walk around with an open heart. So for now, we're just dropping the energetic wall around the heart chakra, opening the heart. And then bring your attention to your hands. Put your hands together, rub them, create some friction. And then part your hands about 4 inches apart and make a slow motion, circular motion. Slow-mo, circular motion. With all of your attention on the space between your hands. And do it without force or effort. And if you feel it, if you're getting in touch with this, of course, the more you do it, the more it works. So you'll feel this thing in between your hands called, I call it air fuzz. It's energy. And then bring your hands to your throat chakra, or one hand. You can take your other hand down to your sacral chakra, so your lower abdomen, where a lot of stuff gets stored energetically that's not yours. Really. And things where you don't speak up, like the thing that I just shared with you. And when you do speak up, you run the risk of really holding energy, of other people's energy. And when you do speak up, you run the risk of holding other people's energy because they may not respond well to you. So there's a lot of things that get stuck energetically in the throat chakra. So just kind of ease your way into this. And then you can go ahead and bring your hands down into your lap, face up to the universe. And now at your heart chakra, just experience whatever you've experienced where you've taken on other people's stuff. If you're an empath, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to say much here. And maybe something just recently that happened in your life. And just feel in your heart area and in your throat area where you resisted them, resisted whatever it was you picked up on them, whether they actually said something or not. It's even more tricky when you pick up someone's stuff and take it on and they never verbalized it. You just energetically took it. And now ask the question, who does this belong to? You might want to exhale some energy. You might feel it, like I just felt the incident I just talked about. Release. A big wave of energy release just now. So again, bringing your attention to your heart chakra, your throat chakra. Who does this belong to? It may be a thought, but whatever thoughts you're having, bring them down into your body. And don't overthink. Don't go run to your brain and analyze things so that you can do this exercise. Later on, it'll show up for you and you can turn this video back on and do this or just do it. Who does this belong to? Return to sender with consciousness attached. Whew. Wow. Okay. I picked a really heavy one. Oh boy. Wow. Whew. And yeah. Most everything that you take on in your lifetime, if you're an empath especially, it has deeper roots. It really does. And this one has some deep roots, not gonna lie. Okay, one more time. Bring your attention to your heart, to your throat, and anything that you've taken on in your lifetime from other people, whether it's thoughts, feelings, beliefs, anything and everything. Take a moment to take at least a layer of it and return at least a layer of that energy to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Again, you may feel that exhale on that. I feel like energy is just flying out of my body, my heart, my throat, my mouth. Okay, so now with this energy experience, what we're going to do is with your hands open, we're going to bring your attention up to your crown, to all the thought movement in your head, the intellectual movement. Our minds are going so fast and so hard all the time. So just feel all that activity, feel the intensity of all that thinking activity, which is really just a bunch of beliefs that are circulating. It's neurons firing. It's usually the same thoughts that go through our minds most of the time. And now you're going to have an opportunity to return those to sender through your crown head, to reintegrate with all that is, just all of that thinking energy. So open your crown chakra, and you do it at will, without force. And just imagine, if you need to use your third eye to imagine, that all that thought activity is bubbling up out of your head like bubbles. Just releasing it from your crown chakra, returning it to sender, to the collective consciousness, if you will. Just allow it to release. And now what I want you to do is I want you to have all your attention in your mind, where it usually lives anyway, all the time on default. But now deliberately, with your attention in your mind, I want you to say, my mind is quiet. And then just experience your mind. My mind is quiet. And now, welcome to freedom. Freedom to create, because you are a creator. And all of the techniques, all of the things that I feel huge passion for, that I practice, I teach, and have been up to for my entire life, are different tools and ways that you can actually free yourself up to be more and more the creator that you are. And I'm not just talking about creative types, people who are artists or people who are musicians, which is really cool to be able to see creativity in that way. It's people who are creating businesses, people who are creating relationships, creating. You're a creator, so welcome to some more freedom for your creations. And if you enjoyed this, please share it with others that you think would get something out of it, some of your empath friends or family. And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And yeah, you can hit the notification bell. Bing! You'll get a notification when I upload more videos. And for now, namaste. Bye-bye.